Hello again. Yes, I am doing another podcast really close to my old one. I miss doing these. And sometimes I think of things I want to talk about and I don't voice them. Because a lot of the time, whenever something pops up that I really want to voice out, I just do a video or something. Or I voice my clients and I don't make it public if it's something that can actually resonate with the public, and then I hate myself for it. So this is a really good one, and it's because I'm driving in pretty much flash flooding. It's not really flash flooding, but I'm listening to the radio saying turn back now, the weather's not going to improve, there's going to be gale forces, and there are roads blocked off, and the SES went out to all these different locations, and there are cars bloody floating in everything, and it just made me think, I'm just sitting watching how miserable the weather is, how miserable the rain is, how miserable the weather is, how miserable pretty much everything is, and it just reminded me of when I was in prep. Because when I was in prep, weather like this would have made me want to stay in bed and cuddle up and literally not do anything. I remember there were a few times where, right now, I'm driving to a gym that's about 14 minutes away from my house. When I was doing comp prep and way back when I started lifting and stuff, when I was let's just say it was a few years ago, I can't remember the exact. Anyway, the gym was about 10 to 15 minutes away from my house, and there were actually a few roundabouts on the way to the gym. And I remember a couple times where I would be literally at a roundabout less than 1 minute away from the gym, and I would do a full 360 and drive back home because I just wanted to cry and go into a ball because it was raining. And then I would hate myself because I skipped on a workout, and I would just lie in self-misery. Don't get me wrong, I would make it up because I didn't like how I felt because of that. I would just train double session or twice as hard or something, and I had the freedom to do it back then. But what I'm trying to say with this is that it's okay to not be perfect when you're first starting out something. It's okay to blimp up, and it's okay to not be 100% all the time when you're just trying and starting to get into a routine. If something is just fresh to you, or if you're going through comp prep especially, because this only happened to me when I was going through comp prep, because I was just comp prepping. You know what it's like. It's tough. So moments like that, and moments during winter and stuff where I just wanted to cuddle up into a ball, it only happened twice. Because after those 2 times, I'm never again. I'm just going to get into this gym and do what I can do. Don't get me wrong, I used to sit in the parking lot for about 5 minutes before going into the gym. But now I'm just you know what? It's so funny how now this is so routine. Half the time I don't even realize that this is the type of weather that would have had me struggling before. And this goes into something that I posted on my Facebook feed, yesterday. It got shared a few times as well because it's just so true. It's habits are what get you through. Motivation is nothing unless you develop the habits through motivation. It's the habits that get you the success. It's the habits that make the hard work easy work. Habits come naturally to you once you get them into your system. It's the habits that take you from A to Z and keep leveling you up, because you just keep refining your habits. You make your habits work for you. Sometimes you may think something works for you, but you know deep down that it's not working for you. But the reason that you keep doing that bad habit is because it has to be doing something beneficial for you in some way, or reinforcing some silly concept in your head. And that's where the guidance needs to come in to help you switch a habit. But it all comes down to habits, no matter what it is. Bad habits are there, and they're hard to kick because they're habits. And it didn't take, like, 1 week to form that habit. So it's not going to take 1 week to get rid of it either. You need to live with intention, and it's through those intentions that form those habits. And people that think that things should just be so easy and they should be 100% all the time, that's leading you up to, like it's setting you up for failure. Because no one is 100% of the time. Life happens. And especially if you're a mother, or especially if you're a student, or especially if you're just everyone, because you're human. Humans have emotions, and our emotions can sometimes get the better of us. And especially with social media out there, and with a lot of, like, false things being perpetuated out there, not only pertaining to, like, weight loss, fat loss, fads, trends, all of that, but, like, I was talking about this the other day, and, like, there's this whole concept, or, like, thought process, that just because you're on period week, or just because you're PMS, you should be eating more food, you should be craving this, you should be craving that, so it makes you, like, feel shit, because, like, I'm not gonna just, like, shut it down completely and say that there's no hormones involved, there's no this, that involved, because, yeah, PMS is a thing, yeah, hormones change, yeah, estrogen, progesterone, all these other things, yeah, they are a factor, but you know that the mind is the most powerful thing of all. If you can master the mindset, you can master those times. I was talking to a client who used to crave everything all the time, and once she started with me and got her mindset right, she has not once, period or no period, PMS or no PMS, she has not once craved anything. She has not once felt the urge to crave the food she used to crave. She's not once gotten, like, the urge to say, I deserve more food because I'm going through my period. She's been able, like, she's had the cramps, yeah. She's had all of those negative, like, physical side effects of having a period with the cramps and all that stuff, but she has not had the psychological type of food cravings things. Like, yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say with this is just that, like, I tend to ramble all the time, and then I wonder, did I ramble too much to post this? But I'm hoping in at least some of my rambles that you can grab some gold from what I say and try and get the main message behind it all and apply it to you in however you can apply it. And with this, it's really me trying to reinforce the power of the mind and how it's okay to not be 100% at the beginning. It's okay to have to take your time. It's okay to have a few little setbacks in order to get your wins. Because, like, this is a lifestyle, and like I said if you did not listen to my last episode, go listen to it. Because I reinforce how much this is a lifestyle. And if you continue to think about it as a short-term thing, or a 12-week transformation, or, like, even just something where you just want to stay on it for a couple of months and that's it. Like, if you continue to think of it in that way, like, you're putting a limit not only on yourself, but you're making it seem like there's an expiry date, and it's going to cause a sense of urgency and a need to be so 100% all the time that you will not forgive yourself for anything less than. But if you learn to approach it as a lifestyle of learning habits that you can sustain for life, you will remain lean and strong and focused and healthy and motivated. And when you're not motivated, you'll have learnt the habits and the disciplines to keep you on track. You would have learnt a whole new lifestyle. You would learn the fact that a couple of days off just to enjoy, life, it's not going to set you back, because the other bloody however many days of the year, you've been so precise, you've been so in tune with just everything going on that, like, it just doesn't really take as big of a toll on your mental mental processes as it would have in the past. And that to me is one of the biggest forms of progress that you could ever ask for. Mental progress is the most valuable, because once you progress there, you will notice progress physically. You will notice progress within your relationships. Progress is just multifaceted. Do not believe that there is only one way to progress. And I was just saying to a client today as well, you can't expect to keep going up and up in weights every single session. It does not work that way. And if you continue to think that everything needs to go up in weights every session, you're going to disappoint yourself so much, because that is the worst way to approach anything. Like, yeah, you need to progress in total volume, but if you keep trying to increase your reps, especially if you smash that in the first half of your session, you can't expect to smash more weights or heavier weights out in the end of the session, because that fatigue accumulates and your muscles will be like feeling it from the first few exercises. So you will not, like, you will struggle with it. Like, there was a time when I used to get mad at myself because I used to progress so much in my military presses and my dumbbell shoulder presses that when I moved into Arnold presses or lateral raises or anything else to do with my pushing exercises, I would struggle, because I literally nailed it so well at the start of my session. And it does all accumulate. You don't live in a vacuum. Like I said about numbers, your body doesn't know numbers. It really doesn't. So you need to keep that in mind when you approach anything. We do not live in vacuums. We are not robots. We are humans with emotions. We are humans with a dynamic way of living. And people that say stuff like, I just want to know something about my metabolism, I'm getting hungry now, does that mean that it's increasing? Is there such thing as fast and slow metabolism? No, everyone has a certain limit on the metabolism, and you can't force your metabolism past a certain point. It just does not work that way. I can't even remember the study. I think there's 2 studies out there that prove that, but like, the more active you are, the faster the metabolic rate that you have. Why? Not because you're some magical pony, but because you're moving more, you're expending more. So yeah, you have a high metabolism. But if you do not change anything that you are doing physically, if you have not increased your steps, your activity throughout the day, then you are not going to bloody shift your metabolism, and you are not going to bloody shift your energy out. Fast metabolizers are those that can burn through carbs really fast, because they've been through the processes of getting lean, of building muscle, of getting lean, of building muscle, and they know how to stay lean. Staying lean keeps you insulin sensitive and makes you someone that can be a fast burner, a fast metabolizer. And that does not mean that you have a fast metabolism. It just means that you can store and process carbs at a better rate. So then what do you need to do to be able to keep them sustained? Because they just burn through carbs too fast. They're the people that will benefit more from a higher proportion of protein. You can even chuck some fats in there if you like. But like, I have one lady who's one of my triathletes, and she does Ironman, Iron Woman, whatever you want to call it. She was like, no matter what I gave her, I used to give her like a packet of jelly beans, a packet of gummy worms, a packet of gummy bears, Haribo, coconut water, Gatorade, all of this stuff, and she would still feel it 3/4 through her races and stuff like that. She would just burn through it and still like feel a little hungry. So what did I do? I gave her beef jerky. I gave her a Cliff Bar. Stuff that also had high protein and high fats in it, because that was what's going to be best for her to sustain herself through the race. So I just totally switched on to a completely different topic, but that just means that it added more little knowledge to your cabinet. And once again, we have another 15-minute episode, and I do try to keep them under 10 minutes, and if I can, I try to keep them under 8, but I hope you could take stuff away from this, and I will see you on the other side.